Hello students, how are you all doing? Hope that you must be fit and well. Today we are doing a sum from JEE Advanced 2016. The sum reads like this. A computer producing factory has only two plants, T1 and T2. Plant T1 produces 20% and plant T2 produces 80% of the total computers produced. 7% of computers produced in the factory turn out to be defective. It is known that probability computer turns out to be defective given that it is produced in plant T1 equals to 10p. Computer 10 times probability of computers turns out to be defective given that it is produced in plant T2. A computer produced in the factory is randomly selected and it does not turn out to be defective. Then the probability that it is produced in plant T2 is. So see here. Okay, so there are four options given for the answer of this question. A is 36 by 73, B is 47 by 79, C is 78 by 93 and D is 75 by 83. Out of these four given options, only one option is correct for the given question and we have to find that one correct option. Okay, now see, first you understand the sum very clearly. Okay, now see, what is the sum saying? The sum is saying that there is a one computer producing factory. It has two plants. Okay, so number of plants the factory has. Okay, so it has two plants which are denoted in the question as T1 and T2. Okay, and it is being told to us that T1 produces 20% of the total computers produced by the factory. Okay, and T2 produces 80% of the total computers produced by the factory. Okay, and it is being told to us in the question that the percentage of defective computers, okay, defective computers in the factory, okay, is equals to 7%. So any number of computers produced, 7% of the total computers produced by the factory, that means by both the plants. 7% of the total computers produced turns out to be defective. Okay, and it is given to us in the question, that is the probability that the computer turns out to be defective given that it is produced by the plant T1. It is told to us that the probability that the computer turns out to be defective when it is produced in plant T1. Okay, so probability of defective, okay, computer produced provided that it is produced by plant T1 is 10 times the probability. It is 10 times the computer turn out to be defective, probability of computer turn out to be defective produced in plant T2. So what is the probability of the computer to be defective provided that it is produced in plant T2, okay, is 10 times less. That is the probability of the computer to be defective provided that it is produced in plant T1 is 10 times the probability of the computer to be defective provided that it is produced in the plant T2. Okay, and further it is being told to us in the question that one computer is selected at random. Okay, from we don't know whether it is from the computer which is selected, okay, is from any of the two plants, but a computer is being selected, single computer, and it is found that the computer is not defective. So it is asking what is the probability that the selected computer which is not defective is produced by the plant T2. So what we have to find out? We have to find what is the probability that the selected computer is produced by the plant T2, provided that it is non-defective. If D is the defective, then D dash will be non-defective. Okay, we have to find what is the probability that the selected computer is produced by the plant T2, provided that it is non-defective. Okay, so the four options for this probability is given here, and we have to select from there. Okay, so I hope that you must have understood the question. Okay, so this is the probability. This is a question of conditional probability. Okay, now see here how we will do the question. Okay, the sum. Okay, now see, we have to find what? We have to find the probability of the computer produced by the plant T2, provided that it is non-defective. Okay, so what is the formula of this? The formula of probability of the computer produced in T2, provided that it is non-defective, the formula for this is probability T2 into multiplied with probability of non-defective, provided that it is produced in plant T2, okay, divided by the probability of the computer produced in T1, okay, into the probability that it is non-defective, provided that it is produced in T1, plus probability of the computer produced in T2 multiplied with the probability of non-defective, provided that it is produced by T2. Okay, now we have to put these values here, and we will get the probability of the computer produced in T2, provided that it is non-defective. So what is probability T1? Okay, that is, it is the probability that what is the probability of the computer produced in T1? It is 20%. So this is 20 by 100, which is 1 by 5. The probability of the computer produced in T1 is 1 by 5. Okay, and the T2 represent what? What is the probability of the computer produced in T, okay, T2? So it is 80%. So that is 80 by 100. So that is 4 by 5 divided by 20. Okay, and let the probability, okay, of the computer is non-defective, provided that it is produced in T2. Okay, probability of the computer being, probability of the computer being defective. Okay, let us assume that the probability of the computer being defective, provided that it is produced in T2, is X. Okay, so here in the question it is given to us that the probability of the computer to be defective. Okay, so probability of the computer being defective, provided that it is produced in T1, is 10 times the probability of the computer to be defective, provided that it is T2. Okay, so the probability of the computer to be defective, provided that it is produced in T1, will be 10 times the probability of the computer to be defective, provided that it is produced in T2. So this will be equals to 10x. Okay, so what is the what will be the percentage of the defective computers? Okay, so the percentage will be, so therefore the probability of the computers produced in T1, multiplied with probability of the computer to be defective provided that it is produced in T1 plus the probability of the computer produced in T2 multiplied with the probability of the computer is defective provided that it is produced in T2 will be 7%. Okay, that means 7 by 100. Okay, so the probability of the computer produced in T1 multiplied with the probability of defective provided that it is produced in T1 plus the probability of the computers produced in T2 multiplied with the probability that it is probability of defective provided that it is T2. This will be the total probability of defective computers. This will be the total probability of the defective computers, which is according to the question it is given to us 7 by 100. So from here we will get the value of x. Okay, that is the probability of what is the probability of the computers to be defective produced in T2 and also what is the probability of the defective produced in T1. Okay, so therefore put the values. So probability of the computer produced in T1 was what? 20%, which is 1 by 5 into the probability of the defective computer produced in T1 is 10x. Okay, plus the probability of the computer produced in T2 is 80%, which is 4 by 5 into the probability of the defective provided that it is produced in T2 is x. So this is 7 by 100. Okay, so this is the probability of the defective computers. Okay, so now solve this equation and get the value of x. So 5 1 is 5, here it is 2. Okay, so now take the now throughout you multiply with 5, or we should not have here cut out with 5. Okay, so this is 1 by 5 into 10x multiply throughout with 5. So what we will get? Here we will get 10x. Okay, 5 will be cut out. Okay, and this will become 4x will be equals to, here I am multiplying with 5. Okay, so this will become 7 by 20. Okay, so 10x plus 4x is 14x is equals to 7 by 20. So from x is here 7 by 20 into 14. So 7 1 is 7, 7 2 is 14. Okay, so 1 by 40 we are getting. That is the probability of the defective computers provided that it is produced in T2 is 1 by 40. Okay, so that is 1 by 40. Correct? And the probability of the defective computers provided that it is produced in T1 will be 10 times this. Okay, 10 times the values of x. Okay, so this will become 10 by 40. Okay, that is equals to 1 by 4. Correct? Now, so so what will be the probability of non-defective? So the probability of non-defective provided that it is produced in T2 will be 1 minus what is the probability of the defective produced in T2. So the probability of defective produced in T2 provided that it is produced in T2 is 1 by 40. So the probability of non-defective provided that it is produced in T2 will be 1 minus 1 by 40, which is 39 by 40. Okay, so similarly we will get what is the probability of the computers to be non-defective provided that it is produced in T1 will be 1 minus the probability of the defective provided that it is produced in T1. So probability of the defective provided that it is made in T1 is 1 by 4. So what is the probability of non-defective provided that it is made in T1? Okay, will be 1 minus 1 by 4, which is 3 by 4. Now we have found out all the values of all these terms. Now we will put the values of this, okay, here, and we will get the value of this. So the probability of the computer produced in T2, provided that it is non-defective, okay, is equal to probability of the computer produced in T2. So that is 80% was it. So that is 4 by 5 into the probability of the non-defective computer provided it is made in T2 is 39 by 40, okay, divided by the probability of the computer made in T1 is 20%, which is 1 by 5 into the probability of the non-defective provided that it is made in T1 is 3 by 4, okay, plus the probability of the computers made in T2 is what? 4 by 5, 80% into the probability of the non-defective provided that it is made in T2 is 39 by 40, okay. So here what we are doing, here take the LCM. So this is 5 into 20. So this is 5 into 40 is 200 and 4 into 39. Okay, 9 4 are 36, carry 3 and 12 and 3, 15. Okay, sorry, here 50 36. So this will be 6, 156 by 200, and here we are taking the LCM 200. So 4 into 5 into 4, 20. 20 is going in 200, 10 10, so 10 into 33, 30 plus 5 into 4, 200, 40, 200, 200 is going in 200, 110. So this will be 156. So here 200 and 200 I have cut out. So what is left? So I am writing here. Okay. So this is equals to, I am writing here. Okay. So this is 156 divided by what? 30 plus 156, which is 186. Okay. Now cancel with 2 here, cancel with 2. So what we are getting? Here it is 78 and this is 93. So that is the probability of the computer produced in T2 provided that it is non-defective is 78 by 93. Now check from the given option. So C is telling it is 78 by 93. So the C is the correct option. Okay. So I hope that you must have understood the sum very clearly. Okay. Thanks for watching the video. Stay fine. Thank you.